continuing our learning journey together, taking with us an appreciation for the great seekers of the past, men and women dedicated entire lifetimes in the pursuit of our shared origins, original knowledge, leaving for us a great heritage today in the great many links and clues kicked up in the dust of their busy activity through a lifetime. Joining their journey for a time, eventually taking our own path, lest we take the risk of following all else down the well-worn ruts in the road, following each other all to the same old dead ends. It's a very crowded and deep bucket down there, a very deep bucket to ever have to climb out from, all just asking each other the same old interesting questions. Taking the why in the path ahead, leaving behind first, there at the gate, a common trait all those great seekers shared, leading all to the same old dead ends. Each inheriting an empire mindset version for any education. Products of it. Products of how an empire sees itself, seeing all else outside of it, having lesser value to ever have to consider out from, long since cut off from original knowledge to even recognise what that is. Long since cut off from original teaching, still gone on in the southern hemisphere, in those lands and nations closest to the beginnings. As little as 12,000 years back in our past, original knowledge first carried out in that first spreading out from a vast ancient Australia. Its lessons learned there over deep time, millenniums of lifetimes lived over and over, passing down the wisdoms in the passed down stories woven into lore, still existed there across the world within our brothers of Turkey. This man, I can't tell you his name nor his clan. That's his story, their story still. But what we can tell is what he does, what he represents. A jurisdiction is shared with these men, imaged upon the rocks being exposed in the Sydney northern suburbs beaches, in the regressing sands going on there today, washing out the coastal soils and brush, leaving only the heaviest of stones behind. exposing out from deep time. Magi men, those who made the bones used for others to use in ceremony. Coming out to us from deep time, still relevant to us here in our day. As Uncle's teaching guides us next. Beloved Uncle, coming to us out from deep time, in the ancient Hebrew word, David, said as today. Beloved, teaching Uncle, still teaching us today in his image. Teaching us through his words he carries upon his chest. The Creator's language, his place as a teacher of man, teacher of the Creator's knowledge. Speaking for the man in the East Coast language. Tula, number 10. Tula Mari. Mari, in original man's connection to Mari, the great mother, tree of life. His wooded leg gifted by army, coming through her. His attachment to mother, eternal. Tula Mari, original man. Mao, the Creator, first. Creator's own language. Tula Mari, the second original man. Between them both sharing the Creator's language. Tula Mari, original man, a teacher, sharing the Creator's language, his knowledge into original man. Tula Mari, Mao. Tula Mari, teacher of the Creator's knowledge into man. A core holding all together across many nations, across all of vast Australia. Not tied down to one tribe nor clan. The wise one, above all accountability. No one was above the great magi, a core to holding culture together, protecting the past on stories and knowledge that they be told accurately every time. Unchanged through all of time, a jurisdiction of the great magi to enforce. At times, he might appear deftly, just outside the village, never coming in. From there, seniors, teaching uncles and storytellers had to approach, go there, sit in his circle, recount to them, telling the stories they're passing on accurately, or face a quick rebuke coming out. In return, for any mistakes. Women and kids would hide from his view, preparing meals nonetheless, sending on the sustenance for him to exist there. The great magi held great powers, and he could ascend an invisible tree to go sit with the creators up in the stars, equal among those, discuss with them. On the touch of any part of his body could bring healing to the sick. With the touch of a man's head and the raise of his arm and his jurisdiction as teacher of original knowledge, the Creator's own language. A touch upon a head he could place knowledge into man. These were the jurisdictions of the great magi travelling the land. The man you see in the image teaching us now. A language used across the great many diverse tribes of a vast Australia, out into the world where it was original knowledge spread, used out there for tens, thousands years, the Creator's language. A numeric idiogram text, talking in numbers, the Creator's language. Best described as a numeric idiogram use of text, where each symbol, tula, becomes as well a number 10. Unlike our modern text, each symbol carrying an individual letter. Here this is idiogram, an idea within a gram. Think like a telegram. Talking in numbers, the Creator's own language. A world's oldest written language. One used throughout the great many diverse individual different nations right across a vast Australia and out across the seas to all lands as original knowledge spread out. A numeric idiogram, use of a text, talking in numbers, original language, the Creator's own language. Today spoken here out from the East Coast language. To begin and start from, grasp, out from. Used the same throughout all a once early world. Only the words differing to local spoken words and culture. The means, the symbols remaining the same. A language shared across all an entire once early world. One could all understand. Understanding each other, the Creator's own language. Murray Guelder, talking out from math, using squares, circles, strokes, numeric idiogram writing, the world's oldest writing upon Earth. Seen used right around an ancient Australia, attested in carvings and paints used out there for over 28,000 years. This one, so old, it took waiting for the tide to go out to even get an image of it. Talking out in numbers, 1, 4, 2, seen there. 1. Mal, the creator, the beginnings, first. 2. Bulla, breathes life, breath, air, wind. 4. We Malunda, coming from a great fire from afar, the Creator, our Son. In the beginning, from a great fire from afar, the Creator breathed life into land and sea. Genesis, anyone? Stories that would carry out from deep time, from the dream time, forming into the stories still handed down to us all, of all faiths today. Stories still held on, passed from generation to generation today, honoured, cherished. Reflections of original knowledge still existing, shared among us all. Talking out from Turkey, the Neolithic age, over 12,000 years ago. Still existing there, original culture, original knowledge, taught in Tula Mari Mal Tula Mari. Original man, teacher of the Creator's own knowledge. Knowledge, tradition, culture, the advices for the consistency of life. Fertility reigned in the southern hemisphere. A time then for our brothers in the north, still trapped, encased in ice. Carrying the authority over all. He carried the stick upon country. He had the authority to whip a king across his back in his own land. Stories that would echo out in original knowledge, passed on into the papyri of an ancient Egypt, telling the same. Travelling together along our learning journey, across both deep time and space, delivering us 7,000 years closer here into our future. Picking up the story again. Travelling forwards in time, arriving out into an Egypt, still yet then 5,000 years before our present day. Pythagoras went to Egypt to was in Egypt. And today we know irrefutable and old Egypt was once taught by an ancient Australian Aboriginal culture. So if that's true, then we should see in Pythagoras' writing there what he got direct from Egypt. It should have some link to Australian Aboriginal if that were true. Let's pull it apart. Let's see. The upturn U, number 10 in Australian Aboriginal, in Numeric text. The word tulamari. This one some would recognise with a more infamous recent history. Well, forget that stuff. It had nothing to do with that. This is Bunaguru, Guide to Truth. 3 dashes simply means in Australian Aboriginal Yuli Engula. 2, written this way, sideways, Bulla, breath, air, wind. Upside down again, the U, this time with a double one. We know this to be 10 with a double one next to it. It's Aboriginal numeric for 30. Mura, Yellow, Gulla, Tula, Mari. So, knowing that, let's read them all together. Let's read what it was that Pythagoras wrote. Tula Mari, Bunna Garu, Yolunga Bulla Mari, Yolunga Tula Mari. Now, what does that mean? Could that possibly mean 10 times 3 equals 30? Let's see. Tula Mari, 10. Bunga Garu, guided by. Yolungala, 3. Bulla brings life. Muri, Yolungula, Tula Mari, 3 tens, 30. Reading that, 10 guided by 3 breathes life into 3 tens, 30. Well, yes, Pythagoras was indeed talking Murray Guelda, Australian Aboriginal numeric text. Wow, that settles that. Words not been spoken, not heard there within the great pyramid of Khufu, not for many thousands years. Return.